I just never cease to wonder about these pictures that I've never seen. This is Carolyn. And these are people from Germany who stayed with us in one. This, I know when this picture was taken, this 1972, and we had 19. No, wait a minute. Anyway, we were having our anniversary celebration, and we had 123 people came from Braunfels, and 6 of them stayed in that big house, and I served as their hostess and took them around. I was teaching German at the time at the school, and so I did talk to them at the school, show them around. This woman brought me a quart size of the, do you know about this cologne that is famous in Cologne, called, well, Waters of Cologne. This, that they think is, I mean, all Germans just seem to think it's the greatest thing. I haven't ever developed that much liking for it that I use it, but that is a favorite gift to give, is this eau de cologne of Cologne, Germany. Well, she brought me a quart size.
Quart of it.
I mean, that is expensive stuff too.
Uh-huh.
And that woman came over here in an ocelot coat. This woman. And she wrote me a couple of times. And when I went to Germany, you know, that she was embarrassed. She was offended because I didn't go visit her. I'm so sorry. But she lived in Cologne, and I did go to Cologne to visit this one I'd corresponded with so many years, but I didn't ever see these people.
That's an ocelot she's wearing?
No,
oh.
Yeah. Yes, I guess that is it. Yes. Thin, it was thin, I mean, it was smooth fur, not anything fluffy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You can see how it is. It's just a lot of spots.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
But she and her husband must have been fabulously wealthy, but I was kind of, she's the one, she actually told me now to have a not only a stranger but a foreigner come in a few days of being there. She told me she would never live the way I was living, you know, next to my mother-in-law. Well, anyway, you do what you have to.
Yeah, I was going to say, everybody's got different circumstances.
Yeah. Well, I was presented with that circumstance, and I didn't have any opportunity to change it. I wanted to go rent a house down the street, which was, I thought, but you know, I had no concept of what money we would have coming in, and we probably couldn't have afforded it anyway. I remember driving with them to look at a rock house up on the hill. I could show you the house, but that's how clear my memory is. But I did not ever get out of the car. Just the two of them got in, you know, to look at it, and then this one came up next door to us. I don't know if what I was told was the truth, but the way I got it, the house, she paid $2,000 for it. You can't imagine that, can you?
Big money.
But this was 1941, fall of 1941. Now, you know, you really, when you're married, there's a lot of things that you need to do, you ought to do. There's a lot of things to talk about. that we didn't talk about. And I really think a lot of times other people can tell you whether you're well matched or not. In my case, that was true, I think. I remember my father saying, "Is that the best you can do?" And this was when he was putting on his tie to go to the wedding. So I don't know why I didn't even think about talking to them about my decision, and they didn't ask me either. So they just let me do what I wanted to do. And this was private tape. That was private talk.
Okay.
And that's not going in this.
Okay.
There's no good reason for putting that anywhere. Now this is all the grandchildren that you see when you see what all I have at this and have had, it's all been worth it, whatever. Here's a little great grand, and she I've loved her very much. It's because it's just amazing to me what she's done. She's been working so well, and this grandson, he's going gung ho. Can you imagine? Let's see. His child is 4. They've had this one child, but went to this place to make it their home. Although they talk about coming back to Texas someday, but they've traveled around and decided on Ashland, Oregon, to live there. I don't know what kind of questions they asked or anything. It is a beautiful place, from a physical standpoint of the landscape and everything. Didn't know anyone, didn't have a job, but in short time, she started a catering business. She's trained as a chef in Australia, and they met both working in a ski shop in California. And it was a while before they married. They were doing things together. They both were. He had worked on a salmon boat one summer, fishing for salmon up there in Alaska. Well, then she went up there and did the same one year, even rescued somebody who fell overboard. The girl did. And they've just amazed me, with things. Well, then she always wanted to, they were the only ones in the family that have ever done this, that come by here and just sit and talk with Albert and me, just to visit up with us. And that's outstanding. So at one time he asked me how was I when Carolyn was born, my last child, and I said I was 37, which is true. And he looked at her and said, "See, we have time yet." So anyway, this 4-year-old was born on his 35th birthday. And so at the end of this year, on the 21st of November, he will be 40 years old.
Time flies.
And they're expecting another child, which, since the 4-year-old was here, she was pregnant, but it turned out to be a tubal pregnancy that had to be taken. Well, they still wanted a child,